Assalamualikum. This is haram in Islam. That is haram in Islam. You cannot do this thing. That is prohibited in Islam. So usually this has been the approach in the Muslim world, that whenever any new thing has come, we had declared it haram initially, and later on with the passage of the time we had permitted it. Now this game of making haram and halal have been going on for years. Initially printing press was declared haram in Muslim world for centuries. People thought that using printing press is haram. Similarly, when coffee was discovered, then later on coffee was declared haram. When Muslim started wearing this shirt, collar shirt, then it was declared haram. They said that this is not allowed. Wearing of tie was declared as haram. When internet came into existence, then some of the scholars said that using it for the purpose of playing video or image is haram. For photography, for videography, it was declared haram. Muslim scholar attacked the photography and videography and declared it absolutely haram. You cannot make picture of any living human being. You cannot give life, so you cannot take photo or you cannot make video. But what happened later on? If you see, once they declared haram, then later on they declared it halal, permissible. Now today no one says that drinking coffee is haram. Today no one says use of printing press is haram. Today no one says wearing of shirt is haram. Today no one says wearing of tie is haram. Today most of the scholars have changed their opinion on the photography and videography also. Now they are saying no, it is allowed for educational purpose. It is allowed for good purpose. There are only very few scholars who are still sticking to the haram terminology usage with the photography and videography. So what is going on? Has Allah revealed any new ayah during this 100 years or 200 years of time, so that something converted from haram to halal? Did Muslim find any new ayat of the Quran or any new teaching of Prophet Muhammad Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, so that they declared this haram as halal? So what is this fuss all about? So the very reason for all this chaos in Muslim world is to abandon the Quran. When Muslims abandoned the Quran, when they distanced themselves from the principle of the Quran, then they got confused and then they gave weird fatwas. Quran very clearly says that it is the right of Allah alone to declare anything as haram. Allah has not given this right to anyone, including Prophet, that they can declare anything haram from their own side. It is only Allah who has the right to declare anything as haram. And Allah has also made very clear in the Quran that you cannot make anything as haram which Allah has not made. Allah has told this very clear that it is like shirk. You are worshipping some other god when you are making something haram which Allah has not made. So what we missed? What we missed was that we missed the Quran. We missed the principles of the Quran. Allah has given the principles of haram in the Quran. If something fits into that principle, then that is fine. I hope you have not forgotten the days when having TV in a home was declared as a sin. Having TV in a home was declared as a haram act. But today they say no, it is allowed for good purpose. So when for good purpose it is allowed today, then it should have been allowed for the good purpose even 20 years back or 30 years back or 40 years back. So this photography, videography, painting, art, culture and all these things, they are basically tool. They are not haram or halal per se. They are basically tool. It is like a speech. When I speak, I can speak good thing, I can speak bad thing. You will say that you should not speak bad thing. That is fine. So a speech is a tool. It is not a good or bad. What use you are making, that is important. Similarly, this photography, videography, this song, this program, this drama, this stage show, this road show, anything that comes into this art and culture, if it does not violate any principle of Islam, then it is allowed. If it violates any principle of Islam, then it is not allowed. And what principle Islam has given regarding this? In Surah Anam, Surah number 6, ayat number 150 and 151, where Allah has declared what kind of things are prohibited in Islam. So in that list, Allah gives that name, that something which leads to fahashi, whether it is open fahashi or it is hidden. So that thing is prohibited. So something that leads to vulgarity, that leads to obscenity, that does more harm, then that thing is haram in Islam. So that photo, that video, that song, that music, that program, that stage show, that road show, that movie which leads towards sin, which leads towards obscenity, which leads towards vulgarity, that is prohibited in Islam. Rest of them are not prohibited. And it is irony that those people who were till yesterday claiming very loudly that these things are prohibited in Islam, today gradually they are accepting it. Today they themselves are sharing on their Facebook and on their social sites things which involve music, things which involve song, things which involves part of the movie clip. So what has happened? How the haram is getting converted to halal? Actually, haram is not converting to halal. Haram is always haram, halal is always halal. In no case haram becomes halal. Some people have the misconception that under compulsion haram becomes halal. Very clearly Quran says in Surah Maida, Surah number 5, ayat number 3, that under the situation of iztirar, under the unbearable situation, when you are under istirar, when you have unbearable situation, then even if you commit haram act, then Allah will not give sin. Allah does not say there haram will become halal. Haram is always haram, halal is always halal. But if you are under istirar, unbearable situation, and if you commit haram act, then Allah can forgive you, but haram will never become halal. So I appeal to the Muslim world, I appeal to our Muslim community members to be very careful when declaring anything as haram. People use it very lightly. Anything that they disagree with, they declare it as a haram. Please be very careful. It is only the domain of Allah to declare anything as a haram. Please refer to the principles of the Quran regarding the haram thing, then only conclude for anything. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.